Welcome to another edition of the Freeform Rock Podcast.
You guys, eh?
Okay, here's a way to keep your brother from eating all the potato chips, eh? I got this automatic pet food dispenser that gives limited portions. That way he can only get a limited portion of the potato chips, eh?
What am I, your dog?
Yeah. He should eat out of a bowl, whereas I would like to eat out of the larger bowl, eh?
Welcome to another edition of the Freeform Rock Podcast. We have Lee Gerstmann here. Say it hi, Lee.
Hey, you.
Hey, ho, hey. I meant Lee. Hey, Lee, not ho.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll be a man today. I'll be Lee, not ho. I'm kidding. Hey, how you doing, Mark?
Fine. How you doing?
Oh, a little bit drunk.
Drunk? Isn't that normal?
I guess I never remember.
Because you're drunk, right?
Well, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. Well, today we're gonna do the May 1st, 2007 album by Rush, Snakes and Arrows. It was our first album since 5 years before that was Vapor Trail's full studio album, but they had Feedback in between that, which is a great covers album. If you ever heard Rush do covers, that's a great album, Feedback. Have you ever heard of that one?
I actually looked it up, and I was making a playlist of some of the originals and some of the Rush songs that they did of those tunes. I would say I have to hear it a little bit more before I can say I really like it. But I did think Crossroads was better than the original. They do it better than Cream.
I don't really care for Cream. I like Cream, but a select few songs. I'm not really a Clapton fan, and I'm maybe going to talk about this on this album about Clapton a little bit. It's weird, huh?
Yeah, that's interesting because like I said the Rush song, that their version was better than the Clapton.
Yeah.
So but I liked Clapton, but hey, we can't all like everything.
Well, I like Clapton. I just don't see like everybody says he's like Clapton is God or whatever. I think Jimmy Page is better than Clapton, so I just don't see what all that's about, So.
Yeah, but I heard him when I was like 3,
yeah.
or maybe I was 4. I forget. I was probably drunk.
But I can tell you one Clapton album that I really did like was Behind the Sun with Phil Collins on drums, and he produced the album for Clapton too, and I love the song Forever Man. It's a great song, man.
Oh, okay, so you kind of like the junky stuff. That's okay.
Yeah, I like Phil Collins, man. The drum sound on that album is intense. I love it.
Yeah, I'd say that I'd probably say I like that, Joe. I like that Phil Collins album. And if they said no, it's Eric Clapton, I'd say no. I believe it's a Phil Collins album, and Joe Clapton just played on it.
All right. Well, let's.
Phil Clapton. Sorry.
Phil Clapton. Well, let's get into this album. I'll give you a little background on it. Snakes and Arrows is their 18th studio album. I go, wow, 18th studio albums. I got that many CDs. Well, I actually got more because they released more after this. And then by the Canadian rock band Rush, released May 1st, 2007, was their studio album. First studio album outing since 2004's Feedback, and their last studio album officially with Atlantic Records, at least in the U.S., where they changed distributors to Roadrunner Records as of August 31st, 2011. The album recorded in 5 weeks between November and December 2006 in All Stars Studios in New York's Catskill Mountains and mixed at Ocean Wave Studios in Los Angeles, California. Snakes and Arrows debuted at number 3 on the Billboard Top 200 and remained for 14 weeks on the charts. Man, that's weird for an album to remain that long anymore. Even in 2007. It was certified gold in Canada in September 2007. And the track Malignant Narcissism. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Was nominated for a Grammy Award under the category of Best Rock Instrumental Performance. If I remember, they didn't win, and I was pissed. But it was also the album was named one of Classic Rock's 10 essential progressive rock albums of the decade. So let's get into this.
All right, I will say before we begin, I'll just say the label Roadrunner, that's from what I remember, it has like also a bunch of blues stuff on it. So it was like, to me, it's interesting how Rush would be involved in that company.
Yeah, well, they distributed it because it's actually their own record company. Anthem Records Canada and Atlantic released it to the world, so they own their own shit. So if they probably one of the few groups that make money off streaming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to own your own shit now.
Yeah, it's not good to keep it in the toilet. It's good to own it.
Yeah, and the inspiration for this was, according to drummer Neil Peart and lyricist, inspiration of the album was conceived after considerable research from several sources. The 2,000-year-old Buddhist game called Leah, I don't know, in the game of self-knowledge, and related children's game called Snakes and Ladders, also known as Chutes and Ladders, and Hamlet's quote, Slings and Arrows. The information helped convince bassist Geddy Lee and guitarist Alex Lifeson to adopt the original painting of the age-old game board as its cover for the new album.
Huh.
I thought that was pretty weird.
Yeah, it makes me think that my idea of doing Romper Room songs isn't all that bad.
Oh crap, I'd like to hear that. You're going to spy through your little eye?
That's the only way I do it.
Alright, well, let's get into the tracks on this album really quick. Well, let me say how I've always been adaptive waiting for a new Rush album. This came out, it was like day one, I'm buying it, it's awesome. They are my favorite band, so I might be a little biased when I review this. So
sure,
that's why I need somebody else on this album, because I might be just too positive.
Well, you definitely are going to get your wish.
All right,
when you hear what I have to say.
Let's get into the first track, Far Cry. What do you think of this one, Lee?
Oh, well, I can see Richard Simmons dancing to this, but seriously, it has a Judas Priest vibe to it, and a little bit of Perry Farrell. It's a pretty good song, one of the better songs on here.
Dang. Well, my thing is, the first time I heard this song, I was like, wow, this is gonna kick Vapor Trails in the ass. And I love Vapor Trails. That's why I was going. Every time Rush releases a new album, I think it's better than the last. It's always been that way with me for some reason. And I love Geddy's voice on this track. It's great, and it's so true how I feel. Like he says, one time I feel I'm ahead of the wheel, and the next it's rolling over me. Everybody feels like that. You go, oh man, I'm ahead. Wait, there's the wheel. It's fucking gonna kill me. you can't always get too high on yourself, man.
I felt that right before you called. It's your phone call that saved me. Thank you.
Yeah, I love Peart's lyrics. Have always spoke to me for some reason, and the rhythm of this song is so infectious. But they did release a live album, Snakes and Arrows Live, and the live tracks are so much better than I saw this concert, so it's really a lot better than it is. Rush is always better in concert anyway, so every Rush fan knows the live versions are going to kick ass over the studio versions. But this album's great, and it's letting me know that Rush is going to take me on a ride for the album.
Yeah, it took me on a bumpy ride, but it's okay.
All right, and then we get into track 2, Armor and Sword. What do you think of this one?
Phil Collins goes metal. Whee!
Oh, wow.
This is an odd tune and interesting. If it was heavier, it could have been on Power Windows. I'm half and half on this. I like half of it.
Dang, I love Power Windows.
I do too. Yeah, I said that I liked only half of this song. I wasn't saying I liked half of Power Windows. Let me be very clear.
I like how Alex uses the acoustic guitar, and throughout this album he uses a lot of acoustic guitars on here. I'm wondering if he bought a new acoustic guitar and just wanted to play with it. But there's a lot of acoustic guitar on this album, more than I think any other Rush album I've ever heard.
Yeah, and that's one of my concerns.
Oh wow, I loved it. It says good lyrics again. I like the the rhythm going in the guitars, and I like how he says no one gets to the heaven without a fight. And
oh yeah,
I love that. I like no one gets to the heaven without a fight. And I love the break in the song. It's a great change up, and Alex has a great lead guitar in there. It's a small lead, but I think it was very powerful. His lead goes with the context of the song, which is pretty cool. It doesn't just disturb the way the song was going.
Oh, okay.
Alright, and then we get into one of your favorites on this album, Working Them Angels. So we will discuss this song after the break.
Driving away to the east and into the past. History recedes in my rearview mirror, carried away on the wave of music down the desert road. Memory humming at the heart of a factory town. All my life I've been working them angels overtime, writing and writing and living so close to the edge. Working them angels, working them angels, working them angels overtime. Riding through the range of light to the wounded city, filling my spirit with the wildest wish to fly. Oh, taking the high road, taking that high road to the wounded city. Memories strumming at the heart of a moving picture. All this time I've been working them angels overtime, riding and driving and flying just over the edge. Working them angels, working them angels, working them angels overtime. Driving down the razor's edge between the past and the future. Oh, turn up the music and smile. Get carried away on the songs and stories of vanished times. Memory drumming at the heart of an English winter. Memories beating at the heart of an African village. All my life I've been working them angels overtime, riding and driving and living so close to the edge. Working them angels,
Okay, that was Working Them Angels by Rush. Okay, Lee, you picked this as one of your favorite 3 songs. Tell us why you like it.
Well, this is a pretty cool Pat Benatar song. Actually, it gets good, so I dig it.
Oh, wow. You don't like Pat Benatar?
What what I'm trying to say is it kind of reminds me in the beginning of Pat Benatar, but then it turns more into Rush and it becomes great.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. I like this song, and I remember an interview with Neil Peart. He said he heard an old couple fighting, and his wife saying to the husband, saying, "Man, you're working them angels." And then Neil Peart got the idea for this song. I love how Alex weaves acoustic guitars through this song, and it sounds like a mandolin coming in the middle of a break. That's pretty cool. I like how he gets to that. I love it, but it still has the power chords going too. Overall, a great Rush song.
Yeah, to me, the reason why I said Pat Benatar was because in the beginning, Geddy Lee's vocals sounded like Pat Benatar.
Oh wow!
But now I realize he was just imitating the wife fighting the guy.
Dang it.
So
you should hear my girlfriend sing. She could sing like Pat Benatar and Ann Wilson of Heart. She's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I could be musical. Man, you got your keyboard and she's got her voice. I'm so jealous of you two.
You could bang on the beer stein and tap your feet.
Maybe I could get a tambourine, but I probably wouldn't be in rhythm.
Oh, well, nowadays it doesn't matter. Most people are drugged up when they hear music anyway. It'll be rhythm no matter what.
Oh, and then we get into the I lost my track. And then we get into the larger bowl. I can't say that word. Pantorum.
I guess
the larger bowl.
Yeah,
I remember when I saw
the larger bowl.
Yeah, I remember I saw this in concert, and I'll put this in here before the show that they had Doug and Bob McKenzie on screen going and said, "I think we need a larger bowl," and then they get into the song. So, what do you think of this song?
Yeah, I didn't have a large enough bowl to smoke to really get into it that much, but this sounds like a Whitesnake ballad.
Oh wow!
I can deal with it, but it doesn't thrill me.
Oh wow! I don't see how you thought Pat Benatar, and then you said Phil Collins, and now you're saying Whitesnake. Well, I don't hear it, but I'm a Rush nut swinger, so you're probably hearing stuff that I'm not hearing.
Well, these like cheesy keyboards in the beginning, like I don't know, it just for a split second it made me think of all these groups that I didn't want to have to think about, but all of a sudden came to mind.
I like this. It's more acoustic guitar by Alex. I like it, and the lyrics. I like it when it says, "Why others only see the worst, such a lot of pain on the earth." I love Geddy's expressive voice, one of my faves. And I said always in concert that Doug and Bob McKenzie introduced this song, and what a great solo by Alex, man. Alex is like just weaving his solos, and they just come out of nowhere, but it goes with that context of the song, and I love it. And then we get into your next favorite on this album, Spindrift. Let's pause right now, and here's Rush with Spindrift. That was Rush with Spindrift. What do you think of that song, Lee?
Oh, this is pretty cool. It's strange, and I like it. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's kind of sci-fi. I like when Rush goes sci-fi, like 2112. Yeah, you know, that's awesome. It's not like the album 2112, but I like it when they get into their sci-fi-ness. You know, like their last album was kind of, steampunk? You know, I like it when they get into themes. It's like cool. I love this song. It's got sci-fi goodness, power chords up the ass, drums, as always with Neil Peart, a perfect Rush song. Has great musicianship, love the break, but doesn't Rush always have the best breaks in their songs? You know, bridges and breaks. They just fucking know how to write a song, to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to have the Rush songbooks, and I found that they were complex to play on the piano.
Yeah, I heard a lot. It's hard to cover Rush, man. A lot of people can do a Rush song, and a lot of people can't do a Rush song. They're one of the hardest groups to cover. You should listen, especially speaking of covers. Listen to our friends at the Decibel Geek. They did a Rush thing of covers. It was pretty cool, and they played some cool. Rush covers and they played some weird Rush covers, especially the version of Tom Sawyer. Go check that out, Lee. The version of Tom Sawyer reminded me of you. It was so weird.
Oh, wow.
But it was pretty cool. And then we get into the instrumental. This is the first of 3 instrumentals on this album, which I love. I love when Rush does instrumentals. This is called The Main Monkey Business. What do you think of this one?
Well, this sounds kind of like Mike and the Mechanics for the most part. This is filler to me. But there were interesting moments in parts, so it wasn't all filler. Actually, the second half of the song is much better than the first. Cut off the first half of the song, and you've got a great song.
Oh, wow. I think it's great. I love the acoustics by Alex again, and Neil shines. It's really cool, man. I like it. And then we get into The Way the Wind Blows. What do you think of this one?
I like those drums at the beginning, and the song makes me think of Cream jamming in concert. I like this song a lot. It's progressive combined with old-style 70s rock. But then it has a mellow acoustic part I don't like. So the song is 3/4 good.
Yeah, it's funny how you said Cream, because I said I was going to talk about Clapton. This is the song where I mentioned Clapton. I said it's like a political song, acoustic guitar again. And I like the lyrics, how it says, "We can only bow to the here and now in the elemental war to be broken down blow by blow." And I love the solo with Alex. I said his best Clapton. Because it goes...
Man, if you think that about that song, you must hate Clapton.
I think it's his best version of Clapton. But I said, though I'm not much of a Clapton fan, but he adds to it. I said, Alex makes it his own. I love this song. It's a cool song.
Alex makes the crappy Clapton solo his own.
All right. And then
Clapton.
And then we get into the second instrumental on the album, Hope, which is an acoustic little ditty. What do you think of this one?
I'm a cowboy with a still horse I ride. I wanted to fix this Rush song. It's an okay acoustic song, but it seems like it would have been better on a Black Crowes album than a Rush album.
Oh, I love the Black Crowes. I love it how Alex is using. You go through all the Rush albums, and he didn't really play a lot of acoustic, and it's freaking awesome that you can hear how he can play acoustic guitar. And this is the only song.
It's freaking awesome that he doesn't play acoustic guitar on most of the albums.
I think Alex is a very underrated guitar player in my mind. I think he's really awesome. And
on this album, he's an underarm guitar player.
And then we get into the next track, Faithless. What do you think of this one?
This has sort of a Christian rock style like Michael W. Smith, who I do like. But I'd imagine this working better on American Idol. For a Rush album, it's just a little bit weak.
Okay. I like it. I like the lyrics where he says, "I don't have faith in faith. I don't believe in beliefs. You can call me faithless. You can call me faithless." But I like how he says, "I still cling to hope, and I believe in love. That's faith enough for me." I love the lyrics. I love the solo that Alex does in the song. I think it's cool. I like how Rush could be political and talk about faith without being political and talking about faith. And I like the way Neil Peart draws a line in his songs, and it's really cool.
Oh, okay.
Alright, and then we get into my favorite song on the record, Bravest Face. What do you think of this one?
Were they listening to Aldo Nova for influence here? I sort of like parts of this song, but it seems disjointed, going from electric to acoustic in a strange way. It's okay, but not my favorite.
Well, I love the analogies he uses on this song. It says, like, this in the sweetest child there's a vicious streak. In the strongest man there's a child so weak. I like how he uses those analogies in the song. And I like how he puts, in the whole wide world there's no magical place, so we might as well rise and put on our bravest face. You know, this is how the world's going today, man. There's no magical place in this world, but we're braving through it, right?
Yeah, it makes me think that they forgot the line, life is just a fantasy, can't you see the fantasy life?
I don't know, but...
Yeah, that would have made it perfect.
I think that's the only song I like by him, or the only song I know by him. Does he have any other good songs?
I think his stuff is like pastries. Most of them fall flat and become like liquid and fall on the floor, and Fantasy is the only song that stays stiff like a pastry.
That's funny. And then we get into Good News. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, Good News First. What do you think of this one?
This sounds almost exactly like the group Bonham, but that's not meant in a bad way. I loved Bonham's first album, but I do have to say this song is a bit filler to me.
Yeah, I could see it's a good filler. I didn't write much about it. I said I like the lyrics, and I like the solo and the drumming and the break in the song. So, yeah, I could see where you say it's filler, but it's something I wouldn't skip. The album's good as a whole to me.
Yeah.
And then we get into the last instrumental on this album, which was nominated for a Grammy. I think this kicks ass. What do you think of this one? Malignant Narcissism. I hope I said it right.
This sounds like...
Because I remember when I said, I said Careless of Steel, it was Caress of Steel, and some other podcast got on me for saying it wrong. So I got to make sure I actually enunciate things right, because people are listening.
Oh. Well, I could say, is Sons Likwoon av Rush's Ilder into... No, this sounds like one of Rush's older instrumental compositions, but updated. Pretty hot. I could imagine this in the background to a Nicolas Cage adventure movie.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome, man. And then before we get into the last track, We Hold On. This was your third favorite song off the album, so let's hear this, and then we'll talk about it when we come back. So here's Rush, We Hold On.
How many times do we tire of all the little battles? Threaten to call it quits, tempted to cut and run. How many times do we weather out the stormy evenings, long to slam the front door, drive away into the setting sun? Keep going until dawn. How many times must another line be drawn? We could be down and gone, but we hold on. Keep going until dawn. How many times must another line be drawn? We could be down and gone, but we hold on. How many times do we chafe against the repetition, straining against the fate, measured out in coffee breaks? How many times do we swallow our ambition, long to give up the same old way?
Okay, that was Rush, We Hold On. So, Lee, why was this one of your favorite tracks off the album?
Oh, well, this has kind of a country edge to it, mixed with the progressive, like Billy Ray Cyrus and Primus. Cyrus and Primus. Cool. Actually, this has a cool beat and sound to it. I really like this song.
Cool beat and sound to it that you could dance to?
Yeah, well, I don't have my dog anymore, but I would have been able to dance with him in front of the mirror with it.
Yeah.
Like David Lee Roth.
I think it's a great way to end the record. It's my third favorite song off the album. I love it, and I like the lyrics where it says, the chorus where it says, "Keep going till dawn. How many times must another line be drawn? We could be down and gone, but we hold on." And then another one, he goes, "How many times do we wonder if it's even worth it? If there's got to be some other way to get me through the day." And the riffs on this song, like you said, are pretty freaking hot. I love this song.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's better than Journey.
Oh wow. You've like put Rush in like a box today of like what is A or L album orientated rock, like 80s.
Yeah. I guess I spilled my load on this episode.
Dave, do you need a napkin?
Probably, but thank God you can't see me right now.
That's good. I this is one of my favorite albums by Rush in 2000s. I love this album. It was a great concert. They have a live CD and a live Blu-ray DVD of this. If you guys want to check that out, it's really cool. And do you have anything to promote, Lee? Since we're done, we went through this album pretty quick.
Oh, I would have to say I have different CDs that if anyone's interested in some of my music, you can message me on Facebook. I don't have an Amazon account now, so well, I mean I do, but only for buying. But if people want some of my music, they can message me. Otherwise, my Spreaker podcast, which is the Lee Gerstmann Show, that's a podcast that I'm doing now. I'm kind of doing at least more than one episode every 6 months, so I'm getting better.
Well, I'll be on there reviewing your album with you tomorrow.
Right on. I can't wait.
I know this is going to be weird reviewing your own music. Let's see if you call any of your tracks filler.
Believe it or not, I do actually listen to it like I'm a real listener. So it was kind of funny how I was like, oh my, now I have to listen to this in order to but you know, I'm not gonna downgrade myself too much. But you know, but yeah, I would like your honest opinion. So whatever you have to say, you know, go for it.
Well, I'm not going to say anything right now. I don't want to give spoilers. But
no problem.
I'll tell you tomorrow morning what I think about it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Do you have any records that you've been listening to? Any suggestions for the fans out there?
Now if you're, I was listening to Creedence Clearwater Revival's first album, and you know, because I heard most of the songs, but I never really heard the whole album, so I was listening to that, and just to get it over with, and that's a pretty good album. So I would say, yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival's first album. That's there's a lot of psychedelic and rocking music in the 60s. That one's one that is I haven't heard as much, but it's pretty good. You know, it's not like Led Zeppelin, it's not like Jimi Hendrix. It's its own thing, but it's pretty hot.
Yeah, I love Fogerty's voice, man. What a great guitar player too.
Definitely.
Nobody really talks about his guitar playing. Well, I got a thing to say to pick or so. Def Leppard's they just re-released Hysteria in like different forms, like a 2 CD 1 CD set, 5 CD, 2 DVDs. I wish I could afford that big box set with the book and the concert videos. Man.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got the 3-disc set, which had the original album remastered plus Hysteria Live from Colorado. And when I first put on that live version of the CD, it just took me back to 1987, watching him at the LA Sports Arena, man, with that concert starting. A flood of memories came back in. They were good memories. Great concert.
Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, I never got a chance to hear them. Yeah. I mean, live. But,
they put on a show, man. They put on a good show, and I still hear they're good.
Wow.
I wanted to see them, but I didn't have money last time they were here. But,
yeah, well, okay.
I think that's my bucket list to get back to see Def Leppard again. I know a lot of people don't like their newer stuff. I think their last album was phenomenal. I think they're more of a pop band than a metal group. I think people get on them because they're not their first 3 albums anymore. They went more with their influences like Mott and Hoople and Queen, and I admire them for that, and I enjoyed it. There was only one album I didn't like. The later albums, it's called The Sparkle Lounge, and I hated that album.
Oh,
but I liked X, I liked Euphoria, I liked their last self-titled album. They put on some good albums. Even Slang, man, that was a very underrated album. After that was their second album after Rick Allen lost his arm, but it was pretty good.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would say that for me, I could hear the Mott the Hoople early influence on their first couple of albums, but even Mott the Hoople, which is the group that I really like, their later stuff I didn't like that much either. And then Ian Hunter left the group, and then he did some good stuff solo, and they did good stuff without him. So it's like they needed to maybe separate.
Well, Joe Elliott also has a band called the Down and Outs where they do Mott and Hoople songs. It's pretty good. I like them both. They're really good albums.
Wow, I'll have to listen to that.
All right, Lee, I would like to thank you for being on the show, and we'll hear from you tomorrow being on your show. And
all right.
Before I go, I'm going to play the track of the week. It's by an underrated band, the Vinnie Vincent Invasion Band. With
cool.
With Mark Slaughter on vocal and Dana Strum on bass, but it's the group who stole Vinnie Vincent's album contract from Chrysalis. Slaughter.
Wow!
It was the album from the album The Wildlife, and the song is called Times They Change. It's over 7 minutes and it kicks ass.
Wow! In fact, now that Vinnie is out of, hiding. Now maybe he's going to sue people again for playing his music. Just kidding. But
yeah, man, that Vinnie Vincent Invasion, man. I like that band, but it was kind of cheesy. Both albums are pretty cheesy. And
definitely.
But I do enjoy. I like Mark Fleischman, the first singer. He's got some solo stuff out that's pretty cool, and he actually wrote "Wheel in the Sky" with Journey. Pretty cool guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm friends with him on Facebook. I like his album.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's cool. Maybe if I get a chance to talk to him, I'll tweet him some of my tunes.
Did you hear the podcast that they did with the Rockin' Combat with him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
but what I mean is, if I can get in contact with him, I might tweet him some of my tunes, and he might say thank you, but please don't contact me again.
But yeah. Well, I like Slaughter. I think. If Vinny would have let them take over, they would have had better songs. Even though I think Vinny's a really good songwriter, but I think he just went crazy with the guitar playing, over the top.
Oh, definite.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna leave right now and say goodbye till adieu to next week. And here's Slaughter from the Wildlife. Times They Change. And thank you again for listening to the Freeform Rock Podcast. Tell a friend. Use my Amazon link. And thank you very much. And take it easy, Lee. See you tomorrow.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
what's up to you. You never see the light. It makes no difference, ain't that right? But now you're really seeing what I'm talking about. How you change those ways. Oh yeah.
epidemic in this country, and 95% of the victims are women.
American doctors who are in the front lines in dealing with the consequences of violence must now be on the front lines in recognizing treatment.
The Kuwaitis we've spoken with say they hope they'll never need to be rescued again, but few are banking on that.
A year ago, the USS Missouri was in the Persian Gulf, firing its big guns at Iraqi positions in Kuwait, and launching Tomahawk cruise missiles toward Baghdad.
Let us pray that peace be now restored to the world, that God will preserve it always.
Hey, DJ Big Bushy here, and if you like the beer cold, the women hot, and the music loud, then get your ass to the biggest party on thatmetalstation.com, the Big Bushy Power Hour, every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Big Bushy Power Hour, it's the biggest party with the biggest beer.
Here's some podcasts I like to listen to. Cheap Talk with Trick Chat, the Decibel Geek Podcast with Chris Sinzak and Aaron Camaro, Metal Raps with Mark Striegel, the Eddie Trunk Podcast, Rock Talk with Mitch LaFon, the Cassius Morris Show, and the Pods and Sods Network. You guys have a great day and keep rocking. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Freeform Rock Podcast. Check out my Amazon link and tell a friend. Thank you.